Hello, my name is Brandon, and today my speech is going to be on coffee beans from seed to cup. Brazil alone produces over 5 billion pounds of coffee every year and has been the world's top coffee producer for more than 150 years. Almost everyone drinks some type of caffeine throughout the day for a little pick me up, especially in the morning. There are positive effects of caffeine, which is awesome, but of course, with every positive, there are also negative effects as well. Where in the world does coffee come from? What does a cup of coffee start as? How much is consumed in a day? We will find out. What does coffee come from? Where does coffee come from in the world? Coffee originated within Ethiopia, which is in the continent of Africa. Throughout years after, coffee beans have been produced within Southeast Asia, Central and South America. The top 5 countries producing coffee within the world today are Brazil, Colombia, Indonesia, Vietnam, and of course, Ethiopia. What does coffee start as? First, we have two different types. You have Robusta and you have Arabica. Robusta can also be called Canefor. Robusta is more of an earthy tone, starting as bitter and bold and ends with a smooth peanut buttery taste, but it contains more caffeine. Arabica is more of a sugary, fruity tone. So if you like sweeter, stick with Arabica. Arabica is also your most common bean, like Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, Wawa, and mainly all the big brands that you find in the store are going to be Arabica. Uh, Coffee grows on a plant, but these plants can grow so high, possibly 30 feet, and can qualify as a tree. Coffee beans are technically seeds. They're the pits of the cherry-like berries found on the flowering shrubs, but we call them beans because of the resemblance to legumes. Once these beans are ready to be collected, they are hand-picked, but in places like Brazil, they mechanize this process. There are two different methods they use to pick, dry and wet. Obviously, where water is limited, they would use the dry method, which would include picking the beans and laying them out, turning them to dry in the sun. They cover them at night and during rain to prevent them from getting wet. The wet method removes the pulp from the coffee cherry after picking, which the bean will dry and only parchment skin is left. After one of the above, the bean is one step closer to our taste buds. These beans get graded and sorted, and any bean that is not up to par will get removed from the bunch. Upon arrival, coffee tasters called cuppers taste hundreds of samples of coffee in a day. Talk about a dream job. They continue to test out these beans with submerging them in boiling water to test the aromas of the coffee until they are sent to the stores. So they continue testing them until they are sent to the stores for us to enjoy. Now we're going to talk about some of the health benefits of coffee. Drinking coffee every day has been linked to these qualities to reduce the risk of several conditions, such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. The more coffee you drink, the lower your chance is of developing type 2 diabetes. And that's black coffee, not with all the sugar and stuff added, just straight black coffee. Coffee can improve cognition, improving attention and memory. Coffee drinkers tend to live longer lives. Cons to drinking coffee: increased risk of osteoporosis due to increased urination from the caffeine, which will cause your body to lose calcium. Weight gain can also be a con because coffee can lead to sugary cravings. Typically, when you drink a cup of coffee, whether it's black or not, you tend to crave more like a donut or a sugary muffin or something like that. This makes sense because every time I get a cup of coffee, I tend to eat something sweet with it. Sleep patterns can also be thrown off from the caffeine because caffeine gives us energy and wakes us up. Today, I spoke about where coffee comes from, how it is processed, and some health pros and cons of coffee. Coffee has been consumed since the Boston Tea Party. 1 cup of coffee only has 1 calorie. So when you are in the mood for a little pick-me-up, remember, as long as your health isn't in poor condition and is doctor approved, get that cup of coffee. Also remember all the time and dedication that is put into the coffee bean process from start to finish.